Cross, did you ever get the final shape before in Destiny 1?
Huh?
All right, well, let's just say best expansions: Taken King, Forsaken, Witch Queen, and final shape. Those are your best expansions. Make a tier list. Luke, throw it up. You got a tier list, I'll do it. All right, major Destiny expansion tier list maker. Here we go. I'll put that down. Put Rise of Iron there. E tier. This is Forsaken. That's Forsaken. Nope. Taken King. Nope. Destiny the Dark Below. A tier, baby. A tier. Destiny 2 Vanilla launch. S tier, baby. S tier. House of Wolves. Oh. Yeah, that's terrible. Shadowkeep. I'll give it A tier. I got nothing in B and C. Final shape. I'll put that A tier. Destiny 1 Vanilla. There we go. Beyond Light. Put that B tier. All right, there it goes. That's your tier list, everybody. This is it. All right, for real, though. For real. Let's do this right. Truly, truly. Curse of Osiris. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even going to put anything in the E and F tier. Final shape, S tier. And look. Where I position the expansion on the row matters. Final shape, S tier all the way over to the left. It is the #1 expansion. It is the best expansion Bungie has ever done. No other expansion is better than it. It clears Forsaken. It clears the Taken King, and it clears Witch Queen. All right, Forsaken. I will put Forsaken right after this. Now, why is Forsaken considered the second best expansion ever? And some would even say the best expansion ever. Outside of the narrative, which was fantastic, and of course, Cade and everything that happened with that. We talk about systematic changes coming in Edge of Fates. The systematic changes that hit us going into Forsaken shifted everything for us. We went from static rolls to random rolls. We went from the ability of having no special weapons to having special weapons. You remember the live stream where Bungie sat there and says, you want to rock a shotgun? Put it on. There you go. You can now put a shotgun on in your second slot. But wait, what if you want to rock a shotgun in all 3 slots? Do y'all remember that stream? I lost my shit, dude. The level of hype we were at watching that shit. The other things that came in Forsaken that were incredible. Comp was at an all-time high. What you experience in comp today, that is nowhere near the player population that was playing competitive back inside of Forsaken. Everybody was going for Luna's Howl and not Forgotten. The only way you can get those weapons is by playing competitive. Dude, everybody was farming their asses off. And look, let me just say this too. If I was to rate the year of Forsaken, the year that it came out and the things that followed it, and the year of Final Shape, Forsaken was better. The year of content of Forsaken was the most dense content we have ever gotten. We ate good all year long. And that's because you had multiple studios cranking out content. You had Vicarious Visions on board cranking out content, including Bungie's old teams. Dude, we didn't realize just how good we had it, man. We didn't do. If only I could go back. We didn't realize just how good we had it. But expansion, Final Shape, and that entire build up to Final Shape and the explosion of Final Shape was still the best. Hold on. You not remember Black Armory? You not remember Niobe Labs? Do you not remember Menagerie? Brother, even if you didn't like Season the Gambit, you still had Reckoning, okay? 3 raids we got that year. 3 fucking raids. 3. Not 1 raid and 2 old raids. Not 1 raid and an old raid. 3 fucking raids in 1 year. On top of Menagerie being a 6-man activity that everyone loved. Look, I can glaze Forsaken all day. But hands down, Forsaken, year of, the best. Just expansion. I still take the Final Shape. All right. Destiny 1 launch. I'm going to put this in B tier. Someone say I should put it in C tier, but it was new and I will always look back on it dearly. Okay. But I won't lie. They kind of fucked up. I'm going to put it in B tier. It was still an incredible experience. And it was still an experience that I never had before. It kept me. Thank God we have Vaulted Glass. I would have probably quit Destiny. Then we got Vaulted Glass. Had they been like, yeah, we're going to roll out Vaulted or a raid, the first raid in the Dark Below. Fucking dead, bro. Fucking dead. Vaulted Glass was when it really solidified itself as like, oh shit, this is a different kind of game. All right, Destiny 2 Vanilla launch. Okay, I'm putting it in D tier. I'm actually putting it behind Curse of Osiris. Curse of Osiris was bad. Destiny 2 Vanilla was worse. At least Curse of Osiris is what put more emphasis on how bad it was. and we needed that low. Curse of Osiris was so shit that it made us realize if we didn't change, if Destiny didn't change, the game would die. But D2 Vanilla, that was a shit sandwich. That was a shit sandwich all the way through. Y'all remember what was the most exciting thing you could do during Destiny 2 Vanilla? Heroic public events. Hey, what are you doing today? Heroic public events. What are you farming today? Heroic public events. And listen, there's a lot of talented people at Bungie, infinitely more talented than me. But the fact that someone okayed static roles and double primaries, who the fuck thought that was going to be a good idea? Who? Static roles? All right, Beyond Light, B tier, baby. Matter of fact, I'll put Beyond Light right here. Look, man, did Beyond Light break a lot of things? Yes, but hot damn it, Deep Stone Lullaby, dude, it brings us back. What a time, man, what a time. I put it at the top of the list in B tier. Oh, but what about sunsetting? Well, that's primarily why it is there. Beyond Light was the start of the downfall of PvP. I'm gonna be honest. The start of the downfall for Destiny PvP was when Bungie tried to relaunch Trials of Osiris without a goddamn anti-cheat. That right there. How do you bring back Trials of Osiris and try to launch that shit without a fucking anti-cheat? 50% of our games had cheaters in it. That's a real statistic. As much as we may bitch about cheaters here and there now, and yes, they pop up here and there. At that time, they were everywhere. Every fucking game. All right, Lightfall. I gotta put in C tier, boys. Now, here's the thing. Lightfall actually brought a lot of good, changes throughout the year. Here's the problem. Every time Bungie has reached maximum levels of hype, they fuck up. You know what I'm coming from? When it's their moment to really ball out, God, dog it, man. That. And look, I even understand the idea of the story. It's just the delivery wasn't good. And then the painful lore entries for the rest of the year. I had to go and listen to Kiyomi SC breathe into a mic for months, and it was excruciating. And not that Kiyomi wasn't an important character. It was just the only thing that was there giving us any type of lore and story beats. You know what I mean? And that could not just be the only source. And then the other side of the things here. I mean, guys, y'all have played Finer Shape at this point. Do you have a good understanding of what the veil is? Or better yet, the radial mass. Anybody understand the radial mass here? Anybody? Even the situation with Rohan, you know what I mean? When Rohan died. I wanted to like Rohan, but there just wasn't no true build up to our relationship with Rohan. That when the moment came for us to weep upon his death, most of us were just like, all right, now we're stuck with this other person, Nimbus. All right, that's enough about Lightfall. Shadowkeep. Oh, let me just say this about Shadowkeep, guys. This is when the Destiny community still had hope. Because think about this. Bungie just broke away. They're independent now. They own people now. Shadowkeep rolls out. We get a pretty decent raid. We get artifacts for the first time. Artifact mods. But the reality is, it was the fucking moon all over again. I'm going to give it a higher rating above Lightfall. Because Lightfall wasn't necessarily worse than Shadowkeep. But Lightfall dropped the ball way too hard when it had the stage. But I'm going to put Shadowkeep at C tier. We went to the moon, fellas. Ooh, remember the whole thing was Moon's Haunted. What do we get in this expansion? Moon's Haunted. That was the big selling points for Shadowkeep. All right, Witch Queen. This is so tough, man. I wish there was a spot between the two. Witch Queen was so good. I got to put it in A tier. Witch Queen was a great expansion. And on its own, I would probably put it as S tier. It really was a great expansion, and it brought some fantastic changes to our subclasses throughout that entire year. However, what really reared its head the year of Witch Queen was the cookie cutter formula that Bungie was trying to put us inside of when it comes to the seasonal model inside of Destiny. And not that we necessarily got something better with episodes or where we are now. It had started before that, but it really fleshed itself out throughout Witch Queen. And there was a lot of people that became very fatigued throughout the year. We got Bao the Disciple though as well. Bao was so good, dude. Bao was so good, man. Believe me, I want to put it at S tier, but I'm going to leave it at A tier and at A+ tier, if you will. All right, Taken King. A tier for Taken King. Look, guys, Taken King was fantastic, but I'm going to put it here behind Witch Queen. Taken King really woke us up to the realization that Bungie can cook, and not just cook, they can keep cooking. You got to keep in mind, Taken King was great, but back then, we had some of the worst content droughts ever inside of Destiny with literally nothing happening. Keep that in mind, guys. Like, if Bungie was looking at this, I love the expansion itself, but it's definitely not the cadence of what I want the rest of the year to be. Taken King also sunset gear, and look how people talk about it. Yeah, that is true. Does a lot of people forget that? Did a lot of people forget that the Taken King did sunset a lot of shit? Here's what the Taken King did also bring, though. More subclasses, an incredible story, and the PvP sandbox was popping. But you gotta understand, PvP was great before the Taken King rolled out. PvP was already great during that entire summer with Trials. All right, House of Wolves. I gotta put it at B tier. House of Wolves itself really wasn't that great, but Trials was just, I think it put Destiny on them. I'm not saying people didn't tune in for raids, but do y'all remember how many people were tuning in to watch Trials content? Fucking everybody, dude. How many of you never even played PvP and then all of a sudden Trials came out and you guys were playing it? And you got to understand, like, back then we had our holy trinity in Destiny was Hawkmoon, Dorn, and Last Word. You used those three, and by the way, like, don't get me wrong, it made the meta very like hyper specific, but they were so fucking good that you could equally use all three of those to counter each other. You also had like the height of self-res back then, Viking Funeral, firebolt grenades is everywhere. The Ram, oh my god, dude, I forgot the Ram was even a thing. All right, Rise of Iron. Okay, I'm changing my list because I can't put it as a B tier. Rise of Iron was A tier. I still think Witch Queen, for me, was better than the Taken King. And look, everybody's gonna say that weapon crafting was the downfall of Destiny. But man, it was so fucking cool. I mean, the resource management was awful, but weapon crafting really was so cool to me. As far as Rise of Iron goes, I wasn't necessarily crazy about the Plague Lands, but the raid was good. The weapons were really, really good. And I just think that time frame, it was a fun time. It was a fun time to be a Destiny player. And I would say that we were at peak optimism going into Destiny 2. We knew that Destiny 1's life was coming to an end. A lot of people had stopped playing Destiny 1, but everyone was very much on board to play Destiny 2 and was excited about Destiny 2. Of course, Destiny 2 is bad. And I hope you can see the parallels here. That when the most people are paying attention to Destiny and the most people on board and hyped about playing Destiny, for some reason, Bungie shits the bed. We had it happen in Destiny 2 Vanilla. We also had it happen in Destiny 2 Lightfall. I don't get it. It just happens. But peak optimism here. All right, Destiny, what is this? The Dark Below. You know, I kind of rate... Dude, it was so long ago. But, like, I think the main thing that stood out was Crota's Inn. I think the other activities I wasn't that crazy about. The Dark Below, it was all right, but it wasn't like anything wild. I remember, like, I liked the weapons from Crota's raid. What the Dark Below really showcased was how strong an individual Guardian could be. When the legend himself, OSC Slayridge, soloed Crota's Inn, I couldn't believe it. I saw the video as I was at work, and I saw, like, I can't remember. It was like, it said maybe I soloed Crota's Inn or something like that. And I was like, bullshit. And I clicked on it, waiting to shit on the video. I was like, man, this motherfucker said he soloed this raid. He's full of shit. And I clicked on it, and I started watching it. And dude, I didn't stop watching it. I was like, oh my God. And like, he just kept going. He didn't die. I'm like, what? He's still going. And dude, the moves he was pulling out and his ability to still drop Crota and then I was like, brother, he's fucking him. And that was when it was like, okay, you can in fact solo this game, at least in some of the content. All right, Destiny 2 Warmind. No, listen. I'm going to put it at B tier. The reason why I'm going to put Warmind at B tier. Warmind kept shit together. It was the little bit of glimmer of hope that kept shit together going into Forsaken. And look, I busted Bungie's balls that summer. That was also the time that Bungie gave us no radar comp, of which I said, whoever suggested this must be a crackhead. But it was a time that Bungie tried different things. And I gotta respect them. They did try some shit. Warmind was just enough to keep us on the hook, to keep the dream somewhat alive going into Forsaken. You gotta remember, the Whisper mission also dropped that summer. Y'all remember that shit? We had Escalation Protocol, which you may not have been a fan of EP, but you had the Whisper mission that dropped out of fucking nowhere. You can't tell me you guys weren't fucking hyped about that. You can't tell me that Whisper mission came literally out of nowhere. And it fucking hyped us up, man. That was when we were like, listen, I don't like this double primary system or none of this other stuff, but it appears someone at Bungie can still cook. That's my list. This is thy list. And it is the best list. No other list is better than this list. All other lists are shit. Wow, I really do have Desi 2 Vanilla as the worst expansion ever. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.